Okay, so today we're talking about copycats, and this video is actually somewhat geared towards KingHuman, who has a YouTube channel, KingHuman. On KingHuman, first off, I'm not by any means calling you a copycat. I'm actually kind of making this video looking for your opinion on this topic. What do you think of when one person has a runaway hit with some idea, and everybody else kind of jumps on that bandwagon and tries to copycat it? One of the first things that comes to mind, I don't know if you guys remember this, or KingHuman, you probably remember this, probably 10, maybe even 15 years ago at this point, somebody had the original idea to go on eBay and put up a eBay listing to essentially make their, I forget if it was their forehead or their entire body, but to essentially make their forehead into a billboard for some company. I forget the actual specifics, but if I'm not mistaken, I think this eBay listing wound up selling for something like $150,000. It was some crazy amount of money. And this person, for a week or a month or whatever, had to wear this particular company's logo on their forehead everywhere they went. And other people, you know, as soon as that one listing went off, it kind of made the news. You know, you saw some news articles and heard on the radio, like, oh, did you guys hear about that new person who just made themselves a human billboard for $150,000? So basically, it's a great advertisement for the advertiser, because is it worth $150,000 to advertise on somebody's forehead? Well, you know, unless that person is Paris Hilton or Kim Kardashian, probably not. However, think about all the exposure they got from you know, all the newspaper articles, all the radio DJs talking about it. You know, like Yahoo's cover story for the day might be like, you know, 19-year-old college student sells forehead as human billboard for 100. And how many millions of people are viewing that? They're going to mention the name of the kid who sold their forehead, as well as the company who bought the forehead space. So really, it's a pretty fantastic. I mean, nobody expects something like that to go viral. But it's a pretty fantastic way. You know, the results in the end were pretty fantastic with all the free publicity and media attention, kind of how this turned into a viral or almost a guerrilla marketing campaign. And that's what we're talking about today. And the one I'm actually thinking about is this company called Uberfax, or I guess not even company, this 23-year-old kid who started this website and Twitter channel called Uberfax. And it's really nothing that original. I mean, all it is basically random facts. So, you know, did you know, cats can lick their elbows? Did you know? And basically all it is, you know, there's 1,000,001 other websites out there, you know, 101 interesting facts, 101 crazy facts, blah, blah, blah. So what is it about this particular site that makes it so popular, that made it such a hit or made it go viral? I guess, I mean, he consolidated all these interesting facts on one site, and he also had a Twitter channel or a Twitter handle that tweeted out interesting facts as well. Somehow he gained a following. I think Paris Hilton and some other celebrities started following his stuff. And, you know, what do you know? It's a runaway hit. I think I haven't read all the articles for myself, but I think my buddy was telling me the guy's, you know, on track to make $500K this year just off this Uber Facts thing. So it's kind of funny. Like I said, there's 101 other sites out there that have random facts. Why is this guy's thing a hit? And it's actually kind of interesting. A few years back, I had actually kind of come up with a similar idea, not necessarily to make a whole like Uber Facts and brand it and everything else, but I was on Twitter. I never really saw much value in Twitter, and I was kind of thinking to myself, what is it about, you know, what can you do with Twitter besides just, you know, tweet links and self-promote stuff? Like, what can you really say in 140 characters? And I stumbled upon the idea of doing interesting facts. So, yeah, I just go to other websites, you know, 101 interesting facts, and did you know it's impossible for humans to lick their elbows? Like, okay, you know, I'll type that up and tweet it out. And that was kind of how I was trying to keep people engaged, how I was trying to keep people coming back to my channel. Like, hey, you know, I'll check his channel a couple times a day. Maybe he's got some new interesting fact or a new joke or something like that. So it's kind of funny. I actually sort of had a similar idea. It's all about execution. You know, we all have a lot of ideas. How many people actually do something with it and execute it? But, you know, heck, I mean, I had a similar idea 5 years ago and started doing the same thing. It's just I never kept up on it, and I didn't really brand it and frame it in the way that he did. But now that this Uberfax article's come out and this guy's making all this money and everything else, you're going to get people coming up with all types of other things like, you know, Uber celebrity facts, Uber urban myth, Uber facts about the food you eat. You know, basically everyone's going to try to run on this thing. And I was just kind of curious from KingHuman, as well as anyone who else is watching this video, do you think there's actually any value in trying to copy someone else's idea and make money off of it? or is that, like, hey, be original, do your own thing, don't piggyback off someone else's idea. I'm kind of torn. A lot of times a new idea or an innovative idea spurs other ideas and spurs innovation and takes that idea even further. And I can see wanting to copycat it because, okay, this turned out to be a big hit. People are obviously interested in it. Why can't we do something similar for people who, maybe this guy's not interested in random facts about everything in the world, but he would be interested in random facts about baseball. Why can't I do a baseball spin-off? So part of me wants to say, okay, copycat, but tweak or change it a little bit. And another part of me wants to say, the first person who does something is original. Everyone else is just a copycat. I really don't respect that. It's not anything innovative. So I'm just kind of curious where KingHuman falls on this, as well as anyone watching this video. If you want to comment, please leave a comment below mentioning, do you think it's kind of innovative to copy people and do a little different twist on it, or should everyone just come up with their own unique ideas? And like the billboard thing, once the first guy did it, maybe it had a couple other people who jumped on the bandwagon and were able to make a little. No one else has sold for that 10,000. Maybe someone else gets $1,000 to walk around with a thing on their forehead. But when you're the first person to do something innovative, you're the one that's going to make it go viral. No one's done it before. That's why it's interesting. That's why it goes viral. But a million other people hopped on eBay and tried to sell their foreheads, and people were selling their foreheads for $0.25 and stuff because it's really not worth much. A company really doesn't have any way to track if you're actually advertising their forehead or where you're going or how many people you're being seen by. So I was almost tempted myself, like, should I jump on the bandwagon with this Uber fax thing? And then another part of me thinks, A, hey, why not just come up with something original? And B, only the first, there's really nothing that interesting about what this guy is doing. Like, there's a million sites out there that list facts, myths, whatever else, but why is this one popular? So, I don't know, it's just kind of, this whole kind of conversation brings me to the idea of tipping points with mavens and, people who are kind of trailblazers and spread ideas and things like that. I think with this Uber fax guy, he had a little bit of a different twist on how to do facts. Rather than just having a text website that lists random facts, he kind of organized it cool. He has it laid out cool. He incorporated a Twitter channel because Twitter is, all the time. He can tweet out a fact at a time. He really branded and packaged this whole thing in a way in that it got some celebrities interested and then went viral. So you trying to copy this, anybody out there listening, I don't think you're going to have the success he did. But, curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Is copycatting cool? Or, is it lame and everyone should just come up with their own ideas? And specifically, KingHuman, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on this because, you're definitely kind of an inspiration to myself and others, and I think a lot of people respect you and you're making money online and things like that, so I was curious to kind of see where you stand on this issue. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Please, just below right here, if you go just below there, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And if you have anything to say, leave a comment. Thanks, we'll talk to you guys later.